What's up, my peoples? This is Domas. Welcome back to this channel, this community, this whatever this is. We're talking a lot about stpd, which is schizotypal personality disorder, which is a disorder or a personality type that I like to call it, that I have, that I've been diagnosed with. At first, I didn't think it was anything serious from what I understood from my psychotherapist, but lately I've been feeling that a lot of the traits that the STPD has been like causing some issues in my life. And in the last couple of videos, I talked about becoming pretty much obsessed with another person. That's what I could call it, madness. Like projecting a lot of your thoughts, signs that you interpret as signs on a person, somebody that you have an infatuation with, and one moment they're like really into you and interested, and then all of a sudden, like next moment they're gone, and you realize that you probably overloaded them with all of your overthinking, and it's normal. I'm starting to realize, but I'm still experiencing a pretty big hangover from that, which is fine. But I just had a really productive, I think, walk and talk with my close friend who we talk with when times are difficult, and like we even found more similarities between the traumas that we have, and especially traumas that I'm not yet comfortable talking about, but eventually I'll talk about it. But it's something to do with your body, like, let's call it other people interfering with your body without you allowing them to. So I'm pretty sure you know what I mean when I say that, and how that affects your self-worth and trusting yourself and trusting people around you, especially close people that are close to you. And then I think, how much has that affected me as a person, and how much has that had an effect on the STPD, and maybe STPD was caused by this event, or vice versa. Maybe the STPD that I had led me through like signs and connections and like all of this like magical thinking towards these people who took advantage of me, or this person. So we had a really productive chat, and afterwards I was like, I'm gonna have to make a video about this. And it's a difficult topic. Whoever's experienced it know what I'm talking about. Man, woman, doesn't matter. But for a man to experience it as a man, because I've not been a woman in this life, so I don't know how it is for a woman. But for a man, it's like really mind-boggling. Like it's really, don't know what to even say about it. It's just like a blockage that starts to appear, and you start to feel like you don't have the same kind of like power, energy. You feel like something is blocking you, and after we had a chat with my friend, I just had like this relaxing feeling that I was like thoughtless in a way. I was like not thinking about anything anymore, and I was like, I even want to sleep. Like I started yawning and stuff, and even talking about it it didn't even feel like, because my friend triggered it, like he shared something that might have happened to him, you know. And it's so strange because these kind of experiences you tend to lock deep inside your mind, and it's hard to remember. And my friend was telling me that, you know, when he was on mushrooms, he started to have these flashbacks, you know, like, and ever since then he started to like experience like bodily pains and stuff like that. And when I shared my story, I was like, I was even like leaving out some parts of the story unintentionally, you know. I usually tell the story very like in a detailed way, you know. And this time I was like, I left almost the most important parts of the story out. And I was like, I didn't mean to do it, like I just forgot about it, like, and I often forget about this event that has happened. And it's very difficult to like pinpoint it, because you want to like minimize it, you want to make it small in your, you want, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's like, it's so painful that you're like, subconsciously you're like, if I'm not gonna pay attention to this, it's not gonna grow, you know, and it's not gonna like affect me, and I'm stronger than that, and I'm this and I'm that. But it's a block that needs to be felt, you know. It needs to be like grieved out, or like you need to like forgive yourself for putting yourself in a situation like this, you know. And you have to feel what you feel. You have to be honest with yourself that it was painful, you know. And there's a lot of shame to do with it, you know, because these people that take advantage of you, they're really good manipulators, you know. They like, you feel so stupid, you know. You feel so stupid after, when you look back at it and you realize how like gullible and naive you were, you know. You feel so stupid, and you blame yourself for that, you know. You're putting blame on yourself. You're like, fuck, I'm an idiot. How could I have fallen for this, you know? But you did, and it's okay. Like, I feel forgiving yourself, I think, but you need to know what you're forgiving yourself for. Because I always, you know, people were like, yeah, you gotta forgive yourself, you gotta forgive yourself. And I was like, for what? And now I'm like, yeah, for being foolish, for trusting people too early, for, you know, falling into a trap, you know. But I feel like I can share this with you partially, because I think maybe more people have experienced it, and maybe more people will be able to share that in the comments, or, you know, talk about it a little bit if you ever experienced it. But I think more often than not, there's more people that have experienced it and that fear talking about it, you know. Like, I don't know, maybe I have talked about it before on the channel, but I don't remember it, because I'm like blocking these things out. And I, like, after talking to my friend today, we were like both minimizing it, you know. Like, he was like, damn, like, I feel like I'm so glad that I shared this with you, because like you sharing it with me made me realize that I'm not the only one, and that my problems are not the worst, you know. And I was saying to him, I was like, yeah, I have this feeling that, like, you know, my experience wasn't as bad as yours, you know. Like, again, minimizing it and making it seem unimportant. And it's important, it's what shaped you, but in order to heal it, you gotta like go through it. Because I don't know, like, I've been having all of these weird like feelings in my body, like blockages and pain, and, you know, And maybe this is gonna help me like heal those parts, so I think it's really good to like find somebody, like, and especially with stpd, like find somebody that's close to you. It can be the same sex, maybe it has to be, at least for me, because like if it's a woman, like you just get too like caught up in it, but when it's a man, you're like, and it's a friend, you're like, I need to appreciate it, and you don't have any other intention. So yeah, like I attach very quickly, so I'm glad that I got this friend, and I appreciate that connection and being able to share with him. And we just go for long walks, and we like talk about it, like out of the depths of our hearts. I was like, today I was going to meet him, and I was like, we talked about so many things, like what else do we have to talk about? And I was just like, I guess we're getting to it, I guess we're reaching the parts that we really need to talk about, because you know it feels so unimportant. But when you're having a conversation with somebody, like some memories can get triggered and come out in the open, and you speak about it, you let it go, and your body lets it go, and you start to feel it in your body, like how your body starts to relax and stuff. Even now I'm like yawning because I'm like talking about it, but I will share, eventually I'll share more. But I wanted to say thank you to all of the viewers who comment and watch these videos, because you don't know how much that means to me. Like, it's really, really empowering, to read your comments and know that I'm not on my own. And maybe it's the same for you. Like, people have been saying, what was it? Guillotine Doll said that she doesn't comment, or he doesn't comment for some reason, because she says doll, and the picture is a picture of a woman, but I don't know if that's her, but whatever. Like, I assume it's a female. So said that she doesn't comment that often, but she loves this channel. And for me, it's like, I'm doing something right, like I'm sharing my story, and people can connect with it. And it's the same for you guys, whoever's watching this. You never know how your story can affect somebody else, so be open. Like, being open, it can be tough. Like, people might take it and use it against you, and or just run with it, and then you're like, I just trusted this person, and they just like disappeared completely, seemingly off the face of the earth, and died in your eyes, but it's a good lesson. Now I'm realizing it's a good lesson, and I can't stop believing science, man. Like, one person leaves, and then another person, like, naturally, without you trying, replaces that person, and you're like, how the fuck, like, right when that ends, another one begins, and you already learned that lesson, so you're not going to make the same mistakes with this person. It's like instantly. So I'm like, wow, this is interesting. Let's see where that takes us. And it might seem like I'm like jumping from one thing to another, but it's like, this is another person who I was talking to and have disappeared and now came back, So I'm like, how can I not believe in signs, when it's like, it seems like everything's arranged perfectly, and you just need to do your part and, be honest about who you are, and just ask questions to yourself, and bring it out in the open, you know. Because when you talk about it, you say some things and they can leave your body, you know, they can leave your mind, your body, and you don't know what they do when they leave you, you know, like they leave as tension, you know, and the tension dissipates and disappears, and you're left with this feeling of calmness, you know, and you didn't drink anything, you didn't take anything, you didn't smoke anything, you just talked, you know, and talking can really release some things, and especially if somebody else is listening, like, it's like so important, you know, that somebody else would listen. So I'm grateful to you for listening, and just want to wish you all a great day, great morning, evening, nighttime, breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever you're doing right now. May you be blessed and full of joy for life, but not crazy joy, that the one that I had a few days ago, but like controlled joy, you know? Like, look after yourself, like look at what you're doing and observe yourself and how you act in certain situations when certain things are being said, and how you react to it when you stop losing control of yourself, and when you let your mind take over and not your heart, you know, because your heart is usually right, you know. It's like you gotta be yourself. Do yourself, do you always. You're unique, you have your own ways of expressing yourself, and do it, you know. You think like you're like everybody else. Yeah, we're a lot like everybody else, but we also have a lot of like differences and interesting, like, you know, branches that we branched off in and grew out as a person, and maybe that's what needs to be shared. Like for me lately, I was like, I think I don't know, maybe I didn't look closely, but I couldn't find any channels talking about like schizotypal personality disorder that much. Like I heard doctors and talking about the traits, but nobody that has, you know, that has it talking about it. So if I can do my bit, you know, and you do yours, then we can grow this into something bigger, and maybe this will inspire other people to talk about it. It's the worst, it's like minimizing stuff, like, and thinking like you're not, oh, this is nothing, you know? Like, no, this is something, like, and it can be really good and it can be really bad if it's out of control, you know? But if it's when it's controlled, you know, and you know your triggers and where you can, you know, deviate from real life and reality, it's like, that's what's important, you know? It's when you can control yourself, you know, as much as you can. Sometimes you just can't, and you can't do nothing about it. So anyway, as usual, I love you guys. Keep doing you. I'm proud of you. Keep doing the great work that you're doing, whatever you're doing, and always be you, you know, doesn't matter. Be open, be yourself, and things will work out your way, in your favor eventually. You're not gonna lose by being you, because only you can do you. Nobody else can do you. So do that and you will win eventually. Take care, much love and peace.